Rain streaked down Margaret Langston's cottage window as she sat, hands trembling, staring into the dark. At 85, she thought her life was quiet, until a flutter in her stomach changed everything. A knock broke the silence. Ethan Blake, 25, stood soaked, his eyes wide. "Margaret, are you pregnant?" he asked. She nodded, fear choking her. Willow Creek buzzed with gossip, but a note under her door turned whispers to threats. "End it or you die." Someone knew her impossible secret. Who wanted her unborn child? Why was it worth killing for? As headlights flashed outside, Margaret gripped Ethan's hand. Their fight was just beginning, and the truth was dangerous. Willow Creek, Florida, was a small town where everyone knew your name and your business. On April 10th, 2011, Margaret Langston, 85, walked to the town clinic, her cane tapping the sidewalk. She felt sick for weeks, tired, queasy, a strange flutter in her belly. Just old age, she told herself, but her neighbor, Mrs. Pratt, pushed her to see Dr. Harris. In the clinic's white waiting room, Margaret's hands shook. She'd lived alone since her husband, Harold, died 20 years ago. Their Elm Street cottage held memories of love and loss. Why did she feel so wrong now? Dr. Harris, a kind man with graying hair, checked her vitals. "Let's do some tests," he said. An hour later, he called her back, his face tight. "Margaret, you're pregnant." She stared, heart pounding. "I'm 85. That's impossible." He shook his head. 6 weeks along. No mistake. Margaret's mind spun. She hadn't been with anyone since Harold, except Ethan Blake. Ethan, 25, had fixed her roof 2 months ago. He was tall, polite, with warm hazel eyes. One rainy night, they'd shared tea, talking late. A quiet moment of closeness had sparked something unexpected. Could it have caused this? Margaret walked home, the town's eyes on her. By evening, reporters crowded her lawn. "Margaret, is it true?" one yelled. She locked the door, heart racing. How did they know so fast? Ethan came that night, rain dripping from his jacket. "I heard at the store," he said. "Is it mine?" Margaret nodded, tears falling. "I don't know how this happened." Ethan took her hand. "I'm here for you. We'll figure it out." His voice was steady, but Margaret saw worry in his eyes. At 25, he'd faced the town's judgment. Why would he stay with her? The next morning, a note slid under her door. "And the pregnancy, or you won't live." Margaret showed Ethan, her hands shaking. "Who would do this?" she asked. He hugged her. "We'll tell Dr. Harris." At the clinic, Harris looked worried. "Margaret, your blood tests show something odd. Your body's acting younger. Hormones like a 20-year-old's. It might be from a stem cell trial you did for arthritis 5 years ago." Margaret blinked. "That fixed my joints. Could it make me pregnant?" Harris nodded. "Maybe. And if someone knows, they might want your baby." Why would her miracle bring danger? The town exploded with gossip. The Willow Creek Gazette screamed, 85-year-old pregnant. Miracle or shame? Neighbors stared. Clara Langston, Margaret's sister, stormed in. "You've ruined our name," she said, glaring at Ethan. "He's after your money." Ethan stood tall. "I care about her, Clara." She scoffed. "She's 85. You're a disgrace." Margaret pleaded. "Clara, stop." Clara left shouting, "You'll pay for this." Why do families hurt each other when the world's already cruel? Another note came that night. "Stop it now, or the boy dies too." Margaret's stomach churned. She felt the baby's tiny kick, a life she couldn't lose. Ethan called the sheriff, but Deputy Cole shrugged. Probably a prank. Margaret didn't believe it. She felt eyes watching her cottage, shadows moving outside. Why was her baby a target? At the clinic again, Harris was blunt. "Margaret, this pregnancy could kill you. Your body's strong for 85, but childbirth is risky." Margaret touched her stomach. "This baby's a miracle. I'm keeping it." Ethan nodded. "We're keeping it." Why do we hold on when everyone says let go? That evening, Margaret found her door unlocked. A yellow flower, Ethan's gift, lay crushed inside. Someone had been there. She called Ethan, who rushed back. A new note was pinned to the wall. Last chance. End it or you both die. Ethan's face hardened. We're leaving Willow Creek. It's not safe. Margaret nodded, fear tightening her chest. Where could they hide from a threat that knew their every move? Margaret packed a small bag, photos, Harold's watch, a baby blanket. Ethan's car waited outside, the engine humming in the dawn. I know a cabin in the Smoky Mountains, he said. We'll be safe there. Margaret looked back at her cottage, 50 years of memories fading. As they drove, a black car followed, its lights dim in the fog. Ethan swerved down a side road, losing it. Margaret's heart raced. Who were these people? The cabin was old, hidden in pine trees, smelling of wood and dust. Margaret sat on a worn couch, feeling the baby kick. Ethan knelt beside her, smiling. She's strong, he said, touching her stomach. Margaret nodded, but fear lingered. Why did peace feel so fragile? That night, Clara appeared, banging on the door. Margaret, let me in. Ethan gripped a poker. We can't trust her. Margaret opened the door. Clara, 70, looked scared. They're after your baby, she said. Its blood could stop aging. They'll kill for it. Ethan glared. How'd you find Clara? She teared up. I followed gossip. I'm here to help. Margaret wanted to believe her, but doubt crept in. Why was Clara always one step behind the danger? A crash woke them at midnight. Masked men broke in, their boots loud. Margaret screamed as Ethan fought, swinging the poker. A man grabbed Margaret. The baby's ours, he said. Ethan knocked him down, yelling, Run. Margaret and Clara fled to the woods, the men's flashlights close behind. They crossed a cold river, Margaret's legs shaking. On the other side, they hid, panting. Clara whispered, I'm sorry I judged you. Margaret's heart ached. Could she trust her sister? They found an old church, its windows broken. Margaret sat, clutching the baby blanket. Ethan stumbled in hours later, bloody but alive. I got away, he said, hugging her. Margaret cried. I thought I lost you. Why did love have to fight so hard? Clara pointed the lights outside. They're here. A torch flew through a window, flame spreading. Ethan grabbed Margaret, pulling her through smoke. Clara fought a man, swinging a board. They escaped the burning church, running to a clearing. Clara gasped, They're VitaCorp, a biotech group. They know about your stem cell trial. Ethan's eyes narrowed. You knew this, Clara? She shook her head. Just rumors until now. Margaret's stomach twisted. Why was her baby worth so much? They hid in a rotting farmhouse, but Margaret woke to find Ethan gone. A note read, They found me. I'm going to them to protect you. Stay safe. Margaret's heart broke. Clara held another note. I found it by the door, she said. Margaret stared. How'd you know he was taken? Clara hesitated. I just saw it. Doubt grew. Was Clara lying? A man in a black coat burst into the farmhouse. Guard behind him. Margaret, your baby belongs to VitaCorp, he said. Its blood could make billions. Margaret clutched her stomach. You can't have her. They dragged her to a van, Clara following, crying. I didn't mean this, Clara said. Margaret turned away. You told them where we were. The van took them to a fenced compound, locking Margaret in a white room. Was Ethan alive? At midnight, Ethan tapped the window, bruised but determined. I'm getting you out, he whispered. The door opened. The man in the black coat aimed a gun. You're too late. An alarm screamed, lights flashing. Ethan tackled him, the gun falling. Margaret grabbed it, shaking. Why was her life always in danger? Clara appeared, holding a stolen gun. I'm sorry, she said, shooting a guard. They ran through halls, bullets flying. Margaret's contraction started, pain sharp. The baby's coming, she gasped. Ethan pulled her to a van in a loading bay. Clara stayed back. Go. I'll stop them. Margaret cried. Clara, come with us. Clara shook her head. I caused this. I'm fixing it. They sped away, Clara firing at guards. Did she save them, or was it too late? At a small hospital, Margaret gave birth, screaming through the pain. Ethan held her hand. "You're so strong," he said. A baby girl cried out, perfect and small. Margaret sobbed, holding her. Hope, she named her. Ethan smiled, tears in his eyes. We did it. But Vita Corp was still out there. Why did their miracle come with such fear? Margaret and Ethan moved to a seaside town, their cottage facing the ocean. Hope, their daughter, grew strong, giggling in the sunlight. Margaret, 86, felt tired but full of love. Ethan, 26, worked at a boatyard, his smile unchanged. No one asked about their past. Vita Corp's compound was shut down, its leaders jailed, but Margaret still looked over her shoulder. Were they truly free? Hope's laughter healed Margaret's scars. She'd fought for this child against a town's hate, a sister's betrayal, and a company's greed. Ethan chose her over everything. Why do we risk it all? Because love is stronger than fear. Clara's sacrifice, staying behind, taught Margaret forgiveness. Hope's tiny hands taught her hope. On their porch, Margaret watched Ethan play with Hope, the sea glowing gold. We're safe, she whispered, believing at last. What do you hold on to when the world tries to take everything? Share below from wherever you're watching. Margaret's miracle asks us, what would you fight for, no matter what?